All right. So recording. Okay, so the 8 worldly winds, like I was saying, that's been kind of the forefront. And I was actually thinking of just doing a video on it as well. So the 8 worldly winds is a Buddhist idea. I don't know, might other religions or whatever might also have a similar thing, but so they are praise and blame, pleasure and pain, gain and loss, and fame and disrepute. So those are the 8 worldly winds that apparently the Buddha said blow us all about.
Okay, can you say those again? Praise and blame.
Praise and blame. So they're all polars, right? Praise and
Yeah.
blame, pleasure and
Pleasure,
pain,
pain.
gain and loss, and fame and disrepute.
Okay. So like
So,
I'm just thinking of Sedona method is like, you know, the fame and disrepute would be, needing approval. And gain and loss is needing security.
yeah,
And pleasure and pain, it would be what? Needing to be in control, maybe.
yeah,
And the first one was blame and
praise and blame. So that's approval again.
approval. Yeah. Okay. All right, keep going.
So, yeah, so that's kind of in the forefront because just the situation that we were discussing earlier, right?
Right. So those are the winds that blow us humans around.
Yeah, those are the things, the 8 things that are our ego or our identity, our story is either trying to get to or get away from. So with the situation we were just talking about, right, the praise of being the good. That's funny. I thought of the word caretaker, and that kind of is so. That's not just in that situation. Right, the good caretaker versus the not so good caretaker, and yeah, and it's like you can't really have one without the other.
Yeah. I mean, I'm thinking like love and relationship, right? That's like praise.
Yeah.
Oh, this person's amazing, and versus blame. This person is causing me so much pain. Like they go hand in hand. You're right.
Yeah. But even to just be interested in one is there's a subtle wanting to avoid and evade the other end of it.
Right. Like even when you're blaming someone, you're trying to avoid the thoughts that it's always the case. You always do this. Well, it's not always. But all of it, pleasure and pain. Yeah, you're. Yeah. And then loss and gain. This idea of being able to let go of things. At the same time, you want to accumulate things.
Right. And just by wanting to accumulate things, there's a subtle fear of losing them.
Mm-hmm. Totally. I can remember being in my 20s when everything I owned fit in my little capri.
Yeah,
And
same here.
right, and feeling like so much freer, and then noticing over time that once I'd accumulated more things, so much, yeah, then that's when fear comes in, because there's these things that you need to hold on to that didn't matter before.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, and what was the last one again? um,
Fame and disrepute.
Fame and disrepute. And that one's interesting because it's more like praise and blame seems to be a smaller circle of intimates, and then praise and disrepute and fame is more the wider circle, like society.
Yeah.
What people from the outside are going to think looking in.
We've been watching the Netflix show, The Circle, and it's kind of this reality show, and but there's people on there that are like influencers, right? Like YouTube influencers or whatever, and they did this. I might butcher this, but they did this research, the study with asking young people what do they want to be when they grow up, and like the majority of the young people asked said that they want to be an influencer. They want to be one of these people that's famous. Right? So just right out of the gate,
Yeah.
it's just this to be famous.
Well, it comes, I'm feeling, how that kind of related to that thought I had a few weeks ago, where it was just this freeing idea that once I died, nobody would remember me. Right.
Yeah.
And like there was, surprisingly, I was surprised with that showed up, because there's this idea of, well, I could see that, when I was younger, I wanted to save the whales and save our planet, do all these things, influence people for the better, help support them, and make a difference in their lives and all of this. Yeah. How would that be if you were making differences in people's lives and nobody ever knew it, right? Like people that do good deeds but don't, you know, they don't let people know about it. That feels a lot
Mm-hmm.
more authentic. There's that word. Or honest or something,
Yes,
right?
the word that we don't know what it means.
Yeah.
Well, more, could you just say, are you thinking more selfless? Is that kind of what you're thinking?
I guess, yeah. It's like meaning, yeah, to do, if you could be doing these things knowing no one would ever even know you did them, you're not going to get any praise at all for it.
Mm-hmm.
No fame, no fame, no praise. Like, is that sad? Can that be satisfying enough? And, then, because it really, I mean, if your goal is to help people, why should it matter if anybody knows about it? So there seems to be some other, there's something else at play there.
Yeah.
But then you can
Yeah.
come down to the whole nitty gritty. Well, what is really, how do we know what it is that someone else really needs, or, the best way to help them?
I was curious about the word satisfying. Like when you asked how satisfying would that be? And it's like, well, is that why we do something? I mean, obviously, if we're wanting to get praise, that's a satisfying part, right?
Yeah.
That fills something.
Well, because I'm thinking of times when I've just done something and it's not filtered through my mind first or in any way. Like it's just this offering of, oh, here, let me do this for you. Right. And then do it. And just because it just was the next thing to do. So it had nothing to do with praise or fame. See, in my vocabulary, that would be authentic because I'm like, I'm just surrendering to this something, this energy, this life force that's just doing its thing through me somehow. And
is that satisfying?
no, because in that case, that's not even part of the story, right?
Right.
It's not even a part of the equation.
Yeah, that's a kind of, I was curious about, because if we're doing something and not even attached to the doing of it, does satisfying even play a role in it? I think there's probably a kind of yummy flavor to it, right? When you, I'm sure when that happened, there's kind of this interconnectedness, this sense of lack of differences, lack of separation in that moment, that you're just part of the flow.
I don't even know if it would be that strong to say there was a yumminess, but there's like nothing with it, right? It's just this, it's just the next thing, the next piece somehow. Yeah, that's interesting to kind of look at things from that way.
Yeah. Peace can be pretty yummy.
If my mind jumps in, it says, wow, isn't this peaceful? But I could feel like then there's that energy and stuff of it, right? But yeah. So if we're talking about the four winds, not the four winds, it feels like four winds you've got.
Yeah, I guess there's the 4 winds and 8 directions.
Yeah.
And a wind is either pushing you that way or that way. All right, Michelle's revamped.
Well, because I can think of it if I think of 4
worldly winds.
Yeah. Oh, look. Can you see them?
It's sheep.
There's sheep outside my window.
And the babies
Oh,
come here.
that's so cool. There's no babies. There's just these 4 sheep. I knew they put them in my front yard once in a while. Oh, right, we're recording.
The babies are out here, out in Chilliwack.
Oh, nice.
Little baby lambs bouncing around.
This is so cool.
Go and give them a hug.
I know. It's so lovely. Okay.
So is that enough recording? Should we?
Yeah, sure. Let's
stop it there.
That's the 4/8 wins. 8/4 wins.
All right.